Okay. Hello, hi. Here we have Antoinette, Free Spirit, and Opinion Guru out of Canada, and Tisha Salkey. We have a very special guest tonight, a top-rated, highly recommended immigration lawyer with a 99 success rate. So let's welcome Tisha Salkey. Go ahead, girl. Do your thing.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. I know that a lot of people are really stressed, especially during these times, the new policy changes. And, I'm honored to come on and just kind of give people more information about what is going on in the immigration landscape. My name, as Antoinette said, Free Spirit Antoinette said, my name is Tisha Salkey. I am an attorney in Florida, specifically Kissimmee, Florida. I work with my sister. We do everything concerning immigration. So the main office is in Atlanta, Georgia, and then my office is in Kissimmee, Florida, which is Central Florida. So although that's where our offices are located, we do service anyone within the United States, and then even anyone, of course, internationally, if they want to come to the United States, if they're interested.
Okay.
And what's your social media?
So all of my social media, which is Instagram and TikTok, since TikTok is still a thing as of right now, is Attorney Tisha, and then the law firm Instagram is Attorney Reynolds.
And
Okay.
as I said, they have a 99% success rate. I just received, a family member of mine just received their green card. I'm trying not to show my address. So good result. And then
Woo! Very happy.
that you could also click on it and give some ratings because they're great. All right, go ahead, Tisha Salke.
Okay, so I know that Opinion Guru basically wanted me to talk about the 14th Amendment and how that relates to birthright citizenship. So that's basically what's hinging on the executive order that President Trump tried to put in place as of, I'm pretty sure it was last week, to end birthright citizenship. It hinges on the 14th Amendment. So in precedent, that was interpreted as, in the Constitution as subject to the jurisdiction. So anybody subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. And how that was interpreted previously was anybody who was born in the United States is subject to the jurisdiction, point blank. So now what he's trying to do is basically saying that if you are here illegally and you do have a child, you are not subject to the jurisdiction. And that's what the executive order basically hinges on. But the reason why that wasn't able to go through automatically, like his other executive orders, is that according to precedent, and if you really want to think about it, the four corners of the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, it's never been interpreted like that in the past. So that's kind of a new thing where, a lot of my colleagues, we've never seen it happen before, even outside of immigration. Like I've had friends call me who do different types of law. That's not even immigration. Like that's never, it's kind of wild. If you're born in the United States, under precedent, you are a U.S. citizen. So, of course, not only after he did that executive order and it was blocked by a federal judge, also states have been suing in conjunction with that. And a lot of organizations, immigration organizations, have been suing as well because it's being taken very seriously.
Right.
So as for now, people have their birthright citizenship and they should not worry.
As of right now, I do not think that they should worry. Of course, it has been blocked by a federal judge, and it's a long process. So I feel like if I'm going to make a prediction, it's going to be a lot of back and forth because now, as it is right now, then President Trump and the executive office are going to appeal, of course, because they're not letting it go. That's one of the main points that he ran on. So he's not going to let it go because he can't for his constituents, but it's going to be a lot of back and forth. It's never been done before. So I really don't think that people should worry as of right now in terms of the new changes. I think there's a lot of other pressing changes that people should worry about. However, if you do feel, especially if you live in a hotspot area, along the border and, a lot of places that ICE is currently targeting, I would say that you should kind of carry some documents together if you are kind of questioning, like, what's exactly going on right now, maybe your passport, your birth certificate, things of that nature. So if you are detained, if you do happen to be detained, you could get out as quickly as possible.
So you want to
So
your telephone number to the office?
Yes. Okay. So if you want to call the overall office, it is 833-810-1234. I repeat, 833-810-1234. And then if you want to call specifically the Kissimmee office, it is 407-710-2733. I repeat, 407-710-2733.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that information.
You're welcome.
Okay.
so they are
Taking call.
saying
1 second, Guru. Are you guys taking call? Like, do you have a 24-hour number? Or they'll call and leave a message and you'll get back to them? How does it go?
So if you call the 833 number, we do have someone that answers 24/7, especially now, because we know that a lot of people are afraid and a lot of people are getting into trouble at critical hours that a lot of offices are not open. So we have things in place where we're able to meet people where they're at, even if it's not an emergency. I know a lot of people, they work a 9 to 5, or they don't work typical hours. So if you do need someone to speak with, or you need to make a consultation or whatever it might be, what we say is we kind of meet people where they are. So just give our office a call and somebody will get in contact with you as soon as possible, even if, it's not during the normal typical business hours.
Okay. And then you guys will give them the address, or you'll go mobile, or whatever it is that you need.
So we have clients, of course, that's like, located either in Atlanta or Kissimmee that comes to our office. But a lot of our clients, I would say even most of our clients, aren't even local. So we do have like an online portal, and we do have, like, of course, like things in place where we do work with people who are not in our vicinity. And we have phone consultations, Zoom consultations. And of course, as I said, we have the online portal where they could upload their documents, and it's on a secure website where, it just makes things easier. And, USCIS as of late has been more, you can do online filing and things of that nature. So it kind of makes it more streamlined. So we do have things in place where we can work with people who are not located where our offices are located.
So I have a question for you also. If someone come here on a work permit, right, and it's gonna expire like in June, you think if they get married, like say by tomorrow or next week, and they start filing right away, will they still be deported, or how does that go?
Okay, so of course, they're not in a situation where it's just like somebody just, they're in a better situation than someone who doesn't have another option, so there's something that they could file for right now. So they're in a kind of a safer position. But I would say that you need to plan as soon as possible. I think that people think, and we've been seeing this especially recently, they think, okay, I'm getting married to a US citizen, my status is about to expire, or I'm no longer going to be compliant within my status. I'm fine. I could basically apply after it expires for my new immigration benefit, or shortly before, thinking that turnaround is going to be very fast. And it's not. I'm going to be very upfront. It's not. So it's better that you kind of plan what you're going to do, and, reach out to an immigration attorney, hopefully us, and basically, shameless plug, and basically put your plan in place so you don't have to spend needlessly. Everybody knows that immigration could be very costly, and you could cut down on that cost if you basically plan ahead. So there's a lot of documents that comes with that people think, okay, I'm getting married to a US citizen next week, or, whenever, in recent times. And all I have to do is just file. We have our marriage certificate, and that's it. And it doesn't go like that. You need a lot of documents, and it takes time to get those documents together. So it's better you get things in motion as soon as possible, especially before your status expires, just to make sure you're safe.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, are they allowing people to get legal counsel when they detain them, or is it just from off the street to the center to the airplane to wherever you come from?
That's actually a really great question. Okay, so traditionally, and even right now, you're able to get legal counsel. So when you're stopped and even when you're detained, I think it's very important not only to, you have the right to remain silent as well. So I think a lot of people forget that, and that's why they end up in trouble. Because even when you're talking to either Border Patrol or when you're detained, they think, even in the informal conversations, they think that it's not going to be held against them, and everything that you say is being put into your file. Even when even if God forbid you're deported, when you try to come back in your FOIA, everything that you say is in your file. So just know that you have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to ask for legal counsel. Of course, this is not criminal law, so if you can't afford one will not be appointed to you.
Mhm.
But just, we tell a lot of people, have an immigration attorney number in your mind. Just have it with you at all times. So if you are detained, you could just quickly whip out that number and say, I would like to remain silent and I would like to call my attorney.
Mhm.
And that could save you from a lot of problems.
So they will allow you to contact legal, because right now when you are watching the news, it just seems like they grab you, they put you in a center, and then so do you think that if you get counsel
Mhm.
and you have a valid case, they will actually let you out on the streets of America, or right now they are just definitely gonna deport you?
So, okay, that's a case by case basis, of course, like depending on your specific, and I'm saying your as like the collective, immigration like history and what's specific to you. However, I would say they would, once you're detained, they have to let you speak to your attorney for the most part. However, as of right now, under the new administration, they are pushing expedited removal. So before, it would kind of be drawn out once you get detained, and you would have time, you would have a lot more time, I would say. And then they would kind of push expedited removal only for people within 100 miles of the border. Now it's throughout the United States. So the turnaround is really fast. That's why I tell people not to wait. Make sure you're prepared for the worst. I know it's terrible, and a lot of people's coping mechanisms is kind of to avoid and not think of the worst. But it's good to have a number for an attorney always, and it's good even like when you're getting detained, whoever's with you, who's not getting detained, of course, to say, look, call my attorney, please. This is the number, and just to get the ball moving, because you would be surprised, you might get let out depending on what motion we file,
Mhm.
what our next steps are, and you might have a lot more options than you actually think that you do have.
Okay. Mm.
Wow, it's very scary,
Yes, it
very
is.
scary.
I know in Florida here they have two immigration centers, right?
Yes,
One in Pompano, one in Miami.
yes.
So you think they're opening more because, like, just for Jamaica, they say they have over 5,000 people to be deported back to Jamaica.
Yes, I saw that as well. So what's currently happening is under new executive orders that's being like put through daily, weekly, I should say, after the new administration has taken office, is they're trying to expand the power of ICE,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think that they are eventually, based on what they're saying, I would not be surprised if they build more immigration centers, and they are trying to expand the power based on where they can go do their raids. There was a few safe spaces traditionally, which was school, church. Now they're trying to get rid of all of that, and then they're actually trying to give a lot more power to actual regular law enforcement officers, which wasn't done before. So that's
Right.
kind of scary, because that means that, okay, you're stopped, just like a regular traffic stop, and if they have their way with a new executive order, then they could have the power to detain you as well. As of right now, that's not being done, but that's really being pushed. So I'm just letting people know that that's a possibility in the future.
So, like how the Minneapolis mayor is saying, he's taking himself and put it by himself. You think a lot of the immigrants is gonna go there now because he have a lot of lead ways for the immigrants?
I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening because, people really want to get, especially right now, want to get out of those hot spots where there are a lot of immigrants. So, like, there's going to be a lot of raids in general at grocery stores and things of that nature where they think a lot of immigrants will be. So I could see people kind of going to, of course, as you said, like places where, there's promising more leniency, promising, or like it's not so dense in terms of like the amount of immigrants.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it to see how that goes.
So
Attorney Tisha, we have a question from the audience. Yellowbird, she's asking that if you think if ICE approaches her and she lie that she's a citizen, if you think that would deter them, or is it okay to lie or just tell them the truth and suffer the consequence?
I would say that should be your last resort to lie, to be honest. I would rather you say that you prefer to remain silent, because when you lie, it could be used against you. It's going to be used against you if you plan on ever coming to the country again. That's like the worst thing that you could do, because it's, it ends up in that moral turpitude type of situation of you lying. And then, like, even if you're trying to come back, in your ban, it's going to say that you lied in your file. And then if you do any sort of immigration applications, they ask those questions specifically. And it's like, one of the questions is, have you ever said that you were a US citizen? Have you ever claimed to say that you were a US citizen, in writing, through orally talking? And the fact that you say yes, it's already a strike against you. So I would say definitely use your right to remain silent over lying. Like, I don't even say that's a last resort. I would say don't even lie, because most of the times when they ask a question, they kind of know where it's going. So if you lie and they find out that you did lie, it's going to bring a world of problems for the most part. And of course, there's always exceptions. You might know that a family friend lied and got away with it. Somebody lied, but just know that there's always exception to a rule, and they're very lucky. And what works for them might not work for you. And it hasn't worked for a lot of people.
And Reds, another audience member, Reds is saying that like he or she basically feels like they are now being judged by their appearance. Like maybe it's like a color thing or a minority thing, like they are picking on certain people, because a lot of people in the United States are from Europe also, and they don't have papers, and we are not seeing the planes flying to Europe. It's just the Caribbean, Africa, and South America.
correct.
Yes.
So that's
that's a very valid statement. Of course, traditionally, we've seen that as well. We've seen that there's always been a crackdown on people from Caribbean countries, even people from African countries, and people from specifically Mexico. And that's just why, unfortunately, in current times and in the past, we kind of have to deal with that. Of course, there's legislation always, trying to go through. There's people always trying to fight for our rights, but it's just it's an unfair reality that we just kind of have to live with.
So Tisha, I know you said you're not supposed to lie, right, when they ask you the question. But can you say, I'm practicing my Fifth Amendment, I'm not going to speak, I'm not going to do anything until you get a judge to give you a search warrant? Or can you do that?
Yes. So that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying yes. Say I'm practicing my right to, I'm not speaking. I would like my attorney, or even if they come to your door, ask for the warrant. If you're
Right.
inside your house, ask for a warrant. And specifically, it has to say that it's a search warrant for them to enter your home.
Right.
And I'm not people, slip by and you might get detained, but that might be what lets you out. Them not having that proper warrant in the future. So just make it as hard for them as possible while still remaining in the confines of the law. So you can ask them for the warrant while they're at the door, and you can refuse to sign anything. Make sure you know what you're signing, because a lot of people, they're kind of put in that position where it's kind of like a power structure, and they
Right.
see something and they get intimidated and they're told, sign this, and they sign it. It really makes it harder for them to come into the United States later, or even to get out of the situation that they're in if they didn't sign it.
So
So attorney Tisha, so normally when they show you a warrant, it's like they are coming to search for an item. So
Mhm.
in this case, the warrant should say they are searching for a human being and the actual name of that human being.
So no, so there's different types of warrants, as you just said. So if it says that it's a search warrant where they can enter the home, then okay, you have to let them into the home. But if it's just a regular warrant, if it's just like a warrant either for, it could be whatever it is, and it's not to search that home with that address stated on that warrant, then you don't have to let them in. And then at that point, it's kind of like it just gives them another hurdle that your rights. And I'm not saying it works all the time, but as I said before, it could really be something that we could kind of file and say, look, it wasn't a valid warrant for them to come. My client said that they're not giving their consent for them to enter their home, and that could be what hinges on you getting out, hopefully.
so that means it's not true when they're in Walmart then and they say they're going to Walmart and they're grabbing the immigrants. That can't be true then, because they could say, well, I'm practicing my Fifth Amendment. I'm shopping. So that's not true to that, Tisha?
No, so that's different. Okay, so they can. Okay, let's say you're in a public space. That's
Uh-huh.
not your home. So of course we always have more protections within the home.
Right.
It's under like the privacy protection of the Constitution. So you have more protections under that. So Walmart, since it's a public forum, it's a public place, you don't have those same type of protections. So for the most part, if they do like, let's say, a raid inside of a Walmart, you can't come in, of course, because you can't let them.
Right.
So based on that, you can get detained.
So you can't just say I practice my Fifth Amendment. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to let you search my belongings. You
You
can't.
can Okay, so you can say that you're practicing your Fifth Amendment. You could always say that you're not speaking. But
Right.
then at the same time, you can still get detained. So practicing your Fifth Amendment is not for you to avoid getting detained. It's more so allowing you the opportunity, and for in the future, for either your attorney to get you out as soon as possible, because you're not putting yourself. A lot of people, when they're nervous, especially, and they are getting detained, they talk, and whatever they say can be used against them, and you don't want to give them additional ammo to use against you. That's what you're kind of avoiding. It's not you getting detained, it's them using what you're saying against you in court to expedite your removal, and make you and possibly put you in a worse position than you are in. And so, yeah.
Attorney Tisha, Andrew from the audience is asking that should he be worried about his visa that is being processed? Are they still working on visas and stuff like that? Are they stopped doing everything?
Okay, so there has been a little bit of a backlog, but they are still working on visas. We have been getting decisions weekly, even since the new administration has taken office. So you shouldn't really worry about that as of right now. Everything is still processing. Of course, we can't really see the actual effects, because I'm pretty sure the visas that we're seeing right now come into our office, the approvals are based still on the prior administration. So I think give it a couple of months and we're going to really see the effects of what this new administration is doing in terms of like the immigration landscape and the processing times. But as of right now, I think it's still too early to tell what exactly is going on. But we are, you know, as a little bit of light, we are still getting approvals at this time.
Great.
And what will happen to people's assets when if they decide that they are gonna be deported? What will happen? Are you allowed to take anything, or like your
Yes.
clothes or your jewelry, money in the bank? If you have a bank account, are you allowed to withdraw the money, or will they do it for you, or are you gonna just go with the clothes on your back?
Okay. So unfortunately, they're not going to really do anything for you on your behalf. That's just like the harsh reality. So you really have to have a plan in place. If worst case scenario, you do get deported, what's going to happen to your belongings? So let's say it's your clothing, then people will probably have to send family members or loved ones will probably have to send your clothing. If it's real property, like let's say a bank account and you're the authorized signer, just kind of make sure that you have something in place. Of course, now it's not as bad as it was in the past in terms of, you know, there's a lot of things when it has that you can do in terms of online banking. So you will still have access to your bank accounts for the most part, but like make sure that just if you want to, that you might have maybe an additional authorized signer, just to kind of speed up that process. Yes.
And Andrew is also asking a follow-up question that if if he should hide until his visa is processed, or is should he be able to tell them that his visa is being processed? He
Yes.
doesn't know what to do.
I completely understand. We've been getting a lot of calls that's been asking similar questions of the same effect. And I would say that, you know, it's very helpful to have maybe the receipt notice of your of what you have of your filing, because it is processing. So maybe if you are detained, it's kind of like you could show them, look, like this is in the works for me. Just like how I said that some people need to come, like always have their visas on them if they're being detained, if you know, if they're here legally, just to kind of say, okay, if I am detained, maybe this is what's going to get me out quicker, you know, because I am here legally and this is in the works. I don't think necessarily he should hide. I don't think that you have to hide, but you know, just kind of be smart about how you do things. Be kind of aware of where you are. Keep in touch with the news. I know that I was talking to my sister earlier today, and we talk about what we're telling our clients all the time. And you know, they're changing immigration laws daily. So like go on the USCIS website. I would say weekly, actually. Just go on that website, type in the visa benefit that you're here on, or the visa benefit that you're seeking, and see if there's ever been any updates, recent updates. They show at the top of the page when's the last time they've updated that visa. So kind of look at that as well to see if there's any policy changes. Just really keep an eye, especially now, on what's going on.
And Andrew wants to thank you for your clarification. And Yellowbird is asking if it's best to just liquidate everything, and just in case, like it's easy to go with the cash.
I think it's a case by case basis, because you know, some people have how do I say this, like a trusted unit around them, like a family unit around them, in which it wouldn't be wise for them to liquidate everything, and their assets will be safe if anything were to happen. But you know, you kind of know who's around you, and you kind of know who you can trust, I should say, and what your plan is and what will work for you in your life. So if you do think that you should liquidate, then I think you should, then that might be the best plan for you, but I wouldn't say that's the best plan for everyone. You know, it's a very case by case basis.
And Supernatural, she wants to tell you thanks. We're not done yet, but she's telling you thanks, and she thinks that it's very informative.
Oh, that's so nice. You're welcome.
And Shaki Mokana, give your hands up.
Oh, I appreciate the support.
So you
Thank
go
you.
ahead and say your phone number again. Tisha.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so the overall office number is 833-810-1234. I repeat, 833-810-1234. And then the Kiss Me office number directly is 407-710-2733. I repeat, 407-710-2733.
and as I said before, Tisha Salkey is a top-rated and highly recommended immigration attorney with a 99% success rate. And as I say again, the proof is in the pudding. If you can see right here, this is a visa paper that we just received, or a green card here at this residence. So thanks again, Monique, MCR, immigration attorney. And I don't know, Tisha, how you think we could get this to them so they could scan it to
Okay,
rate?
yes. So if you want to scan that, you could use your phone to scan it, or you could go on attorneyreynolds.com, and that's our website. And that's where you could also schedule consultations if you rather do it online instead of giving our office a call.
Okay.
And anyone want to come up on screen to talk to Attorney Tisha directly, you can. I put the StreamYard link in the chat. You can just click on it and follow the instruction. And you don't have to turn your camera on. You can leave it off if you want, given the situation right now. So that option is there. We are not gonna have her for too long. I know she's busy, but if
Yeah,
you want, you can ask her a question directly.
within the next 5 minutes. And
Yeah,
Tisha, we
and
thank
Thank you for
Attorney
having me.
Tisha, I hear you talking about this particular thing a few times, and I didn't know that it was possible, but because you are saying it, under what circumstances are they able to deport you and allow you back into the United States? Because you were always saying that in case you want to come back, in case you want to come back. I didn't know that you were able to come back.
Okay. So it's, of course, as everything, as I've said before, it's a case by case basis, and it depends on what's on in your FOIA, what's in your file when you are deported. So sometimes people do have a ban, but of course there are still options in the future. So you can do a waiver. You can that can't apply to everyone, but it has applied to some. You can do a waiver eventually. You could do a motion to reopen when after you're deported to kind of reopen your case. There's steps that you can take.
And you go to the embassy in your country to start that process.
So you're saying to start. Oh wait,
Like if you are deported to say
yes.
Jamaica, you would have to go to the embassy in Jamaica to let them reopen your case to see if you can. That's what
So
I'm talking about, because you are always saying that in
okay, I see
case
what
you
you're
wanna
saying.
come back, in case you wanna
Yes.
come back.
So what I would say is that you need to get in contact with an immigration attorney, not really the embassy, because I think if you go to the embassy and you say, okay, I'd like to reopen my case, that's more so, it's not a clerical thing. It's more so a legal aspect that you really need an attorney for. So it's a whole motion and, a whole filing. And you have to include documents, evidence, reason why you need to be, why you need your case to be reopened. It's a whole process, but it can happen. I've seen it happen before.
And Yellowbird is asking a question about if a woman is 22 weeks pregnant, if they won't allow them to travel to the US or they won't give them any visa. Is that a thing?
Okay, so I've seen aspects like that where, they're kind of, especially trying, I can see especially now, they're really trying to crack down on birthright citizenship and you coming to the United States, of course, having your child, and that's a whole thing. I'm not sure if that they will actually blatantly put that for the reason why you're not getting your visa, but I would say, I'm saying under the table, like, I'm saying kind of hide what's going on. You don't need to be forthcoming with everything. As I say to all of my clients, you do not need to give information that's not asked. So, yes.
So they won't let you pee on a stick to see if you are pregnant.
I've never seen that happen.
That's
But, so I Tisha have to go, and Tisha, we thank
w-
you very much.
Andrew is saying that he has some questions, but he wants to ask her off live. So if she could please repeat the social media and the telephone numbers again,
Okay. So all
please.
social media is Attorney Tisha, attorney, and then TISHA. And then the phone numbers for the main line is 833-810-1234. And you will be able to get in contact with someone 24/7 on that line. And then if you would like to speak to me personally or contact the Kissimmee office specifically, it is 407-710-2733.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tisha.
Thank you for having me. I hope I was able to impart some knowledge and help people who had questions.
Yes. Thank you very, very much.
Very informative. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Attorney
Nice
Tish.
meeting you as well.
Yes.
Bye.
99% success rate. So make sure you guys go ahead and call Monique or Tisha. All
Yes,
right.
yes.
Blessings. Bye-bye.
Bye. Blessings,
Ba-
blessings.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Yes, Sheriff. Sheriff. Long time, Sheriff. Long time. Free Spirit is gone, and I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for joining, and who missed it can watch the replay for the numbers and stuff. Please thumbs up, share, subscribe, watch another video, and we will catch you in the next one. Thanks, Sheriff. Big up yourself. Yellow Bird. Everybody, big up, Shakim, big up. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.